Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you will change everything. You want to stay on his mind, you want to be unforgettable. But here's the shocking truth. You don't do that by chasing, texting, or proving your worth. No, that's the old way, the desperate way. The way that makes you replaceable. But you. So how do you do it? You become the version of yourself that is so powerful, so radiant, that your presence is felt even in your absence. Not by playing games, not by pretending to be someone you're not, but by rewiring your mind, your energy, and your entire being to operate at a higher level. Because listen, he doesn't remember the woman who chases. He remembers the woman who makes him feel something he's never felt before. Sure. Here's a mind-blowing expansion of your first key point. Become the source of your own happiness. Listen to me closely, because if you truly understand what I'm about to say, your entire life will change. The reason most people fail in love, in attraction, and in relationships is simple. They make someone else the center of their world instead of becoming the gravitational force that pulls everything toward them. You want to be on his mind? You want him to think about you in ways he can't explain? Then you need to stop making him the source of your happiness. Because the second you do that, you lose all power. You shift from being an irreplaceable force to just another person seeking validation. And here's the truth. He doesn't think about the woman who needs him. Understand this. When you become whole within yourself, you become unforgettable. The woman who is deeply in love with her own life, who is fulfilled without needing constant reassurance, who radiates a sense of completeness, that woman is a rare force. And rarity creates obsession. Think about it. When something is rare, it becomes valuable. When something is everywhere, it becomes disposable. That's why chasing him, trying to prove your worth, or bending over backward to make him happy will never work. Because in doing so, you are sending a subconscious message. I need you to feel good about myself. And the moment a man senses that, he loses respect. He may entertain you, he may even enjoy the attention, but he will not feel that deep, magnetic pull toward you. Because that energy, that's not power, it's desperation. But when you flip the script, when you become so fulfilled in your own world that his presence is simply a bonus, something shifts. Suddenly he starts to notice you differently. He starts to feel something unusual, an attraction beyond looks, beyond words, beyond logic. Because here's the shocking truth. Men do not fall for the woman who is available at his every call. Men fall for the woman who makes him feel like winning her over is an achievement. And that only happens when your happiness is untouchable. So how do you do this? You start by breaking the addiction, because that's what it is, an addiction to external validation. You've been conditioned to believe that love, attention, and relationships are what will complete you. That the moment he starts texting more, calling more, showing up more, you'll finally feel secure. But here's the hard truth. Even if he gives you everything you're asking for, it will never be enough. Because if you haven't built that sense of security within yourself, you will always be looking for the next hit, the next reassurance, the next sign that he cares. And guess what? That energy, it's repelling. It creates pressure. It makes a man feel trapped, like he's responsible for your emotional state. And no man, no matter how much he likes you, wants to carry that weight. But when you become the kind of woman who wakes up every day feeling excited about her life, regardless of him, everything changes. When you start treating yourself as the prize, he starts seeing you as one. When you become the woman who is so in love with her own existence, with her passions, her dreams, her growth, he can't help but be drawn in. Because you know what's rare? A woman who doesn't need attention to feel good about herself. A woman who doesn't revolve her entire emotional world around a man's actions. A woman who is genuinely happy, whether he's there or not. And that right there is what makes you unforgettable. See, the world has lied to you. It told you that love is about proving yourself, about being available, about showing how much you care. But that's not how true attraction works. True attraction is about polarity. the more you are in your power, the more he feels an uncontrollable desire to be near you. And the irony? The less you need him, the more he craves you. He starts to wonder, why is she so content? Why is she not chasing? Why does she seem so fulfilled? And the moment that question enters his mind, it's over. Because now he is thinking about you. He is analyzing your energy. He is feeling the space you've left. And space creates longing. But none of this happens if you are still making him the center of your world. None of this happens if your happiness is dependent on whether or not he texts back. None of this happens if you are still playing small, waiting for his attention to make you feel worthy. You have to understand, you set the tone for how you are treated, and if you treat yourself like you are enough, like you are whole, like you are living your best life no matter what, he will have no choice but to see you that way too. But if you treat yourself like you need someone to complete you, like you are waiting to be chosen, like you are waiting for permission to feel good enough, you will always attract situations that reflect that energy. This is why some women are chased relentlessly, while others are taken for granted. It's not about looks. It's not about playing games. It's about who you are at your core. Because the truth is, men don't think about just any woman. They think about the one who stands out. The one who makes them feel something rare. The one who carries herself in a way that says, I don't need you, but I desire only what aligns with my highest self. And that is who you are becoming. A woman so rooted in her own happiness that her energy lingers in his mind long after she's gone. A woman who doesn't need to try to stay on his mind because she already lives there. Master the art of presence. Most people move through life unconsciously, distracted, rushing, talking too much, filling every silence, afraid of stillness. And because of that, they are forgotten. Their energy is forgettable, their presence is weak, and their impact disappears the moment they leave the room. But you are about to step into a different level. A level where your presence alone shifts the energy in any space. A level where people, especially him, cannot stop thinking about you, even when you're not there. You need to understand this. Attraction is not just about what you say. It's about what you make him feel without saying anything at all. The most magnetic people are not the ones who try the hardest. They are the ones who have mastered presence. Presence is power. It's the energy of someone who is fully in the moment, who is not scattered, who does not need external validation, who commands attention simply by existing in her own frequency. When you master presence, you create an aura around you that is undeniable. Your energy lingers. Your essence stays in his mind long after the conversation is over. Because while most people are trying to impress, trying to be seen, trying to be liked, you are simply being. And that stillness, that confidence, is intoxicating. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful people in a room are often the ones who speak the least? The ones who don't rush to fill the silence? The ones who take their time, who let their words settle, who are comfortable in their own skin? That is what makes them unforgettable, because when they do speak, every word carries weight. Their energy is intentional. Their presence is commanding. Now, imagine bringing that level of energy into every interaction with him. Imagine being so present, so aware, so centered in yourself, that every look, every movement, every pause in your conversation creates tension. This is the kind of presence that makes him addicted. Because now you're no longer just another person in his life. You are an experience. And that experience stays with him. He replays it in his mind. The way you held eye contact just a second longer than expected. The way you didn't rush to respond, making him lean in just a little more. The way you carried yourself, calm, confident, unbothered. That kind of energy is rare. And rarity is unforgettable. Most people listen to respond, but you listen to understand. When he speaks, you're not waiting for your turn to talk, you're absorbing, you're observing, you're fully in the moment, and that presence makes him feel something different. It makes him feel seen in a way that no one else has made him feel before. And that feeling? That's what keeps you in his mind. But presence isn't just about silence. It's about intention. It's about slowing down. It's about speaking with certainty, moving with purpose, being so attuned to yourself that nothing feels rushed, nothing feels forced. When you are present, your energy says, I am enough. I don't need to try. I don't need to impress. I already belong. And do you know what happens when you embody that? He starts to feel like he needs to impress you. Because now the dynamic has shifted. You are not seeking his attention, he is seeking yours. You are not trying to prove yourself. He is trying to earn your presence. And that is how you become unforgettable. Because he won't just remember what you said. He will remember how he felt in your presence. He will remember that sense of intrigue, that depth, that magnetism that made him want more. He will start craving that energy again. And the more he craves it, the more you live in his mind. Presence is about awareness. It's about knowing that everything you do, from the way you walk into a room, to the way you sip your drink, to the way you hold his gaze, is creating an impact. And when you move with that awareness, your presence becomes powerful beyond words. Imagine walking into a room and instantly shifting the energy without saying a single thing. Imagine looking at him and with just one glance making his heartbeat pick up because he feels something he can't explain. Imagine being the woman whose absence is felt just as deeply as her presence. That is what happens when you master presence. Most people are forgettable because they are disconnected from themselves, from the moment, from their own power. But you are no longer one of those people. From this moment forward, you operate differently. You no longer seek to be seen. You let your energy do the work. You no longer rush to fill the space. You let the space amplify your power. You no longer try to make him think about you, because he already is. Detach from the outcome. The most powerful people in this world, whether in business, relationships, or life, are the ones who understand one thing. Attachment creates resistance, and resistance repels. The moment you grip too tightly, the moment you need something to happen, you push it further away. And when it comes to staying on his mind, the same rule applies. The more you need him to think about you, the less he will. The more you obsess over what he's doing, the more he will pull away. But the second you detach, the second you step back into your own power, something shifts. Suddenly, he starts noticing your absence. Suddenly, he starts feeling like something is missing. Suddenly, the energy reverses, and he's the one thinking about you. People can feel energy even if they don't understand it. And if your energy is desperate, if your energy is constantly searching for reassurance, it creates pressure. That pressure makes a man feel trapped. It makes him withdraw. It makes him instinctively pull away, not because he doesn't like you, but because the weight of expectation suffocates attraction. But when you detach, when you no longer need him to show up a certain way for you to feel good, everything changes. Now your energy is light. Now your energy is free. Now, instead of repelling, you become magnetic. Because here's what most people don't realize. The mind is wired to crave what it does not fully have. The moment something feels too available, it loses value. It's basic psychology. But when there is an element of uncertainty, when there is space, when there is the possibility that he could lose you, his mind fixates. He starts thinking about you in ways he never did before. He starts wondering what you're doing, why you're not reaching out, why you seem so unaffected. Why? And that curiosity, that is what keeps you on his mind. But here's where most people get it wrong. They pretend to detach while still obsessing in their mind. They force themselves not to text, but they check their phone every 5 minutes hoping he will. That is not detachment, that is suppression. True detachment is when you genuinely let go, when you stop waiting, when you stop trying to control the outcome, when you shift your focus so deeply into your own life, your own purpose, your own fulfillment, that what he does or doesn't do no longer affects your inner state. Because the second you show the universe that your happiness is not dependent on him, the energy changes. Now, instead of chasing, you are being chased. Instead of seeking, you are being sought. Instead of trying to force things to happen, you allow them to unfold naturally, and that is where real power lies. Detachment does not mean you don't care. It means you care so much about yourself about your own peace, about your own journey, that you refuse to let anyone else dictate your emotional state. It means you trust. Trust that if he is meant to think about you, he will. Trust that if he is meant to be in your life, he will find his way there. Trust that what is truly meant for you will never require you to beg, chase, or lose yourself to receive it. Most people operate in fear. Fear of losing someone, fear of being forgotten, fear of not being enough. And that fear makes them hold on too tightly. That fear makes them settle. That fear makes them try to control something that was never theirs to control. But when you release the fear, when you step into certainty, when you own your worth so deeply that you know that you are unforgettable, that is when you become impossible to ignore. Because the truth is, men remember the women who are different, the women who do not need them, the women who are so whole, so complete, so deeply fulfilled within themselves that their presence feels like a privilege, not a right. That is who you are becoming. That is why he won't be able to stop thinking about you. Because now your energy has shifted. Now you are not waiting for anything. Now you are moving forward, radiating confidence, living fully. And that kind of energy, that is the kind that lingers. That is the kind that haunts his mind. That is the kind he will never, ever forget.